Denver airport.
Oh, yes. Let's go.
They used to have these murals put up, but they have since taken it down because it got just way too much like, what the heck am I looking at? I'm just going to describe some of the things that were in these murals.
Hey,
This is
Segovia.
terrible.
Back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good day, y'all. We got a good one coming up today. Another hour banger. Took a day off yesterday. I needed a day to reset. Plus, I had a couple big doctor's appointments, so I had to go do those. Got the teeth cleaned, dentist, doctor's appointment, got to re-up, you know what I mean? Had to do some things. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the day off, reset my algorithm. We're back, y'all. We're back with another video. How's the lighting look? Does it look a little better? I watched some videos on lighting, repositioned my lights, and I feel like it looks a lot crisper, a lot cleaner, but I do want to do some upgrades, but we'll get into that in another video. But anyways, y'all, I ain't gonna sit here and talk too much. You know I do too much of that. We're gonna get into the reaction, y'all. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Barry, when Aaliyah died for a wrongful death, he got paid $90 million for her death.
They killed her! And that's what I've been saying. They killed her!
If another 50% tariff goes on China at the end of this week, I definitely cannot move my product from China to the US. Effectively, when my product lands in the US, I will have paid 100% more for it, plus shipping. It will be absolutely zero profit from me and probably a loss. So my product's going to stay in China. It's going to sit in my manufacturer's warehouse for as long as they will accept that. I may have to just dispose of it. I won't make any money. The US won't make any tariffs. My Chinese manufacturer still gets paid, and I'm abandoning any future projects. This is what I mean when it starts to wind down trade. Tariff income is a hit, then it's a loss. Make sure you follow to keep up to date on this.
What if I told you that WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark, who I captured here throwing some very obvious devil horns with her good old buddy Taylor Swift, isn't at all who she claims to be? But not only that she has ties to the Kobe Bryant helicopter crash. Would you want to know more? You see, I've done videos on Gigi Bryant and Kobe and how they might quite possibly still be around and might quite possibly be Angel Reese of the WNBA and Myles Garrett of the NFL. And well, those two weren't the only ones that supposedly died in that crash. There were a handful of others, including this family here, the Altobelli family. And wouldn't you have it, they seem to resemble the Clark family a little bit. I mean, the moms look alike, and the dads look alike, and well, Caitlin and Alyssa resemble each other a little bit. So much so that when you take this picture of Gigi and Alyssa and line it up next to Caitlin, well, you get something that looks pretty suspicious and similar and symmetrical. And well, I think I might just leave it here for now and give you these last
reaching, y'all.
four.
This might be the last clip of this dude we put on
of the puzzle. And if you want more, you gotta go into my subscription, because I don't dare get too detailed about one involving a supposed child's death.
Doesn't look like her at all.
And because my full video was already taken down once when I put it out to the general public, I don't dare try again. So it's here in my subscription area. It's a full 10-minute video on her. Notice how it's Caitlin Clark, CC 33. They always like to tell us what their favorite number, because, well, at the bottom of all of it, it's the fallen angels, and a third of the fallen angels were banished down here, and they like to mess with us mentally, spiritually, physically. And that's why they poison everything. The air, the water, the food. They're mad at God, and they're mad at us. So they torment us. But if you want the full breakdown, just go subscribe, and you can see the rest of it. And there's a 10-minute Kobe Bryant video in there and a 10-minute Angel Reese video in there that I don't dare put out to the general public. But of course, this is all for entertainment purposes, you silly
Pretty
billies.
much.
I know it's all a coincidence. And
Nobody
the fact
taking
that
your
their
videos
teeth
down.
even line up perfectly when you fade in from one to the other. Just coincidence. I'm a satire account, entertainment only.
Damn it, I went down this freaking cemetery rabbit hole. Shit. It done blew my mind, got me thinking why 330 million people that live in here in America, and there's only 144,000 cemeteries in America, which on average is 2,400 dead people per cemetery if everybody in America was die at once. You telling me this nation been going for 250 years and we still got room in cemeteries and there's not new cemeteries ever being built? Man, get the fuck out of here.
The reason why there is the poor and rich is because of the damn churches, whether you know it or not. It's a class system. I'm sorry, I'm getting amped, I'm getting hot talking about this because I'm vibing right now, go. Hope y'all love it. You see it, right? It's real, bro. I had to get that off. That's a reason I felt the urge to do an episode today that was like this and not the iceberg conspiracy. And I didn't understand why, but now I do. Hope y'all understand the same dream I got. This is a clippable ass episode. I'm keep real. It might get me banned though, honestly. It might. Well, certain parts. I'll look through it. But go to the next video. I love all you guys. Just understand that's why I fight what I fight. That's the reason why I want to wake people up. It is a dread and dreary thing when you first see it. It is. But please understand what my aspirations are. Please understand the goal. And it isn't for me. I have a son. I got kids. Huh? You want your kids going working their bone to 80 and crying on the front yard and landscaping John saying I'm tired? That's the life. That's the reason why you brought your kids here. I want you to say that as a parent. Did you have children so they could work and die like you did, having nothing? You're dying to have nothing. And it's an illusion. And I have to say, religion is the problem. Why we're still doing this. Be a slave and a good one. Go ahead, keep putting your faith in today.
We are going to be fighting Terminator. For sure. Like you guys who celebrate this AI and all you fucking nerds who were like, oh dude, I could just AI this shit. I could just chat GPT my whole fucking life. You're the dumbest people of society. Literally, you can't fucking think. This is the end of time manifesting in front of our eyes. We're going to be fighting fucking Terminators, bro. I'm dead serious. What do you think's going to happen when they start making robotic soldiers? When AI meets robotics, bro, we are done. We are done. Our jobs are done. Our purpose is done. And it's only going to take these machines a little bit of time to figure out that we're just infesting their world and we're going to be done.
Is our water supply poisoning us?
Utah has become the first state in the United States to ban fluoride in community waters. This law was signed yesterday and will go into effect on May 7th. And this is actually very concerning.
Is it concerning? Because most industrialized nations do not fluoridate their water supply, and nobody's freaking out there, so what's going on? Well, as always, if you follow the money, you usually find the truth. First, a little bit of quick background. Water fluoridation was introduced in the United States back in 1945 in the city of Grand Rapids with the claim that it helped prevent tooth decay. But if we take a look at data released by the WHO, tooth decay rates are virtually the same across every single country. It's all getting better regardless of whether they fluoridate their water or not. But for the countries that are adding fluoride to their water supply, like the United States, there are more and more studies coming out, just like this one, finding that fluoride has a negative impact on cognitive development, specifically a drop in IQ. Not a subtle finding, they say. More than 50 studies show this consistent association. Not ideal, I would say. So why does Dr. Zachary Rubin, who I have nothing against, and I'm sure he's a good doctor, why is he claiming that not fluoridating the water supply is concerning? Well, it turns out from time to time, Dr. Zachary Rubin is called upon to, let's say, shill for corporate science. In this case, guest hosting a podcast with Thermo Fisher Scientific, which is a $200 billion biotech and pharmaceutical company. And Thermo Fisher Scientific just happens to make millions of dollars every year selling testing equipment to monitor fluoride levels in municipal water systems. So possibly a little bit of conflict of interest here. Also, let's talk about how the fluoride in our water literally comes from hazardous waste.
The fluoride that they get is a byproduct of the phosphate fertilizer industry, and it's called hydrofluorosilicic acid. So as a byproduct of the phosphate fertilizer industry, it's considered a hazardous waste, and it's very expensive to dispose of.
Yeah, this is literally what they're putting into our water supply. In 1983, the EPA called this an ideal solution to a long-standing problem. So since then, companies like Mosaic, which is formerly part of Cargill, has been selling this hazardous waste byproduct to municipalities instead of paying to dispose of it as hazardous waste. And finally, we have organizations like the ADA, the American Dental Association, running cover for these chemical companies, in part because they are funded by those very same companies, and then they're out to defend water fluoridation. And that's how we turn something that I'm sure was once well-intentioned into an industrial complex where we are mass medicating people. But hey, they call me a conspiracy theorist, so what do I know?
Everyone talks about Elon Musk is worth 140 however many billions. No, he's not. If he's tried to sell all his stock today and get that, he would collapse all his companies. Same with Bezos, same with any of those guys. It's paper wealth. Are they extremely wealthy? Sure, but they don't get a paycheck. Did they find a loophole? Of course they did. They're billionaires.
The mark of the beast will be in the hand or in the head. The Neuralink is a chip that gives the human brain the ability to operate and function like a computer. Elon will hook you up, get you all AI ready. You don't even need a phone to make phone calls anymore. You don't have to use computers anymore. This is where the world is going. Motorola said last year, starting 2030, all cell phones will be bio inside your right hand. Chip in your head, chip in your hand. It says it in the Bible.
So a video went viral of a Christian talking about the Holy Spirit told her not to go to the Chris Brown concert, and Chris Brown responded. First, let's look at what the sister said.
I don't know about anybody else, but I know that the Holy Spirit be convicting me so quick in my chest, bro. So as we all know, because you can't escape it because we're not of the world. We live here, but we're not of the world. But that's not the point. That's not the point. So Chris Brown done announced his tour, okay? And baby, I literally was like, all right, of course I'm not going to the Vibes Cartel concert. That's diabolical business, okay? Even though I am a Caribbean woman by blood, I get it. I used to listen to all the tunes, but you won't catch me there at all. It's not happening. So then I was like, Lord, but Chris Brown is R&B, maybe I could go. The Holy Spirit was like, no, you're not.
And Suge was in Puff's baby mama, and Pac was in her best friend.
Who was the best friend?
Who still is her best friend?
Would she happen to be a singer?
Absolutely.
For the last 4 decades?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's a prediction that 9 to 5 jobs will be extinct by 2034. This is coming from Reid Hoffman of LinkedIn.
I 100% agree. I was going to tell you this earlier. I think in the future, most people will have 2 or 3 jobs. And a lot of people now do have 2 or 3 jobs.
38% of Americans already have a freelance job.
And I mean, a lot of people, if you work in restaurant, food, or beverage or something, or maybe if you're working for minimum wage, if you're in high school, maybe you'll have 2 jobs. But I think white collar professionals, people will have 2 or 3 careers simultaneously. And already we've moved. It used to be you would have 1 career for your whole life. My dad worked at the same company over 20 years.
My dad too. Same office, even same exact office.
And now we have people who have mini careers. Every 4 years you'll switch. Every 3 years. But I think the future is going to be every 4 or 5 years you'll switch, but you'll also be doing 2 different jobs at once, and it will be accepted. It'll be allowed. It won't be we've talked before, it won't be cheating. It'll be
But the question is, okay, it's fine that you're going to be having 3 or 4 freelance gigs, but what are the working hours? hours? Like, is it still Monday through Friday even? Are you doing calls at 9 p.m. now? Is that the norm?
Yeah, but I think the really smart companies and the smart CEOs are starting to value output more than hours.
And now with AI, you can track output.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing because of course you can be more proficient, you can be more efficient, you can get more done with AI, but some companies are also pushing back. They don't want you to use AI too much, but at the same time, why not? Everything should be judged in output only.
So the short, like, they're getting effort, I guess, right? Output with AI. But most of these jobs, especially office jobs, like if you really wanted to, you can finish your 8-hour day of work in 3 hours. Like I've said before, I used to work at SnorRequest or LabCorp. There was some routes that if I wanted to, I could bang that route out, get good relationships with each stop, bang that route out in 2-3 hours and say, hey, if you have another, pickup, 9 times out of 10, they don't, right? They have their one pickup. Once in a while, they have an extra pickup and like, fuck, I already went there. Dispatch will call, hey, we were there too early, whatever, right? But if you get a good relationship, you can just tell them like, hey, if you got something, don't call dispatch. Here's my number. Call me. I'll come back and pick it up, right? I could finish a route in 2 or 3 hours, but now that AI is tracking, especially driving jobs, like tracking your output, people milk the clock. At jobs, you milk the clock because I'm here for 8 hours. I can't put my full effort into it, but now AI is tracking that. So now people are probably just getting way more work because they can really finish a job in 2 or 3 hours if they really wanted to, but we milk it for 8 hours because we're here for 8 hours. So it's a cold game, y'all.
This is it. When oil drops below $60 a barrel, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? It really is. It gives relief to folks at the pump for sure, no doubt about it, especially in rural areas, right? Where we could use a little extra money from time to time, right? But what this does is it puts real pressure on the producers, okay? People who drill, and it puts pressure on the communities that they operate in that depend on these jobs. So it's a sign of a shifting global economy. And it really shows that how tightly the energy markets are tied to everyday life. You follow me? I get asked this question a lot. What the hell is a producer? A lot of people ask me, what is a producer? That can mean many things, okay? So a producer can be an independent, a wildcatter, right? Independent drillers. It could also mean a major oil company. Think people like Exxon, Chevron, ConocoPhillips, people like that, right? The major. And it also means the service companies, people like Schlumberger, or the trucking companies, or the welders, or rig operators, people like that. That all falls into producers. So you got your wildcatters, your majors, and your service companies.
And I know one thing, anybody that's still seeking a music career in the industry nowadays with a major label, please reconsider. Please reconsider, because you see, once you sign on that line, they own your ass forever. Ain't no such thing as your contract is up. Yeah, it may be up, but that means they're going to get rid of you. They're going to get rid of you, cash in that life insurance policy, and keep all your royalties. Yeah, better stay away from that shit.
What's up? People they just want the fame, I'm guessing, because like I used to watch Nick Merckx, right? Stream when he used to play like Advanced Warfare back in the day, way back in the day. I used to watch him, but then he went through all this drama with Nate Shot. I always see these streamers that have a lot of subscribers, got 10,000 people watching them on the daily, but they go sign with like a Phase or Optic, and I always wonder like why. Like now you have to do what you have to do. You have to make appearances. You get these people like that are in your gaming with you, like, making appearances. But I mean, look what happens. A scandal happens, and then guess what? Oh, I didn't know that guy. I played with him, 5 times. Like, you guys think I knew the guy? Like, he was my good friend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not your true friends that you're playing with, like, but they just want the fame, I guess, along with the money. Like, because they're making good money streaming or like making music on YouTube, getting millions of views, having a following. You have to have that now to get signed to a record label. You have to have your streams already on like Spotify. You have to have your YouTube views up. You have to have your Instagram following to get that big record label deal. But like you already got that, like by yourself. like maybe you had some help or whatever, but like by yourself. But when you go to this record label, they're gonna take everything, but they're gonna make you super famous. I don't understand it. Like, I would never do that. Like, I'm good. I don't need a Lamborghini in my front yard. I'm good with my Dodge Ram sitting out there 2008 looking clean as hell. Like, I'm good with that. I don't, but some people need that, y'all. They need the big chain. They need the Louis Vuitton. They need the fancy car in their driveway. They need the huge house. Like, they need that, but that house is empty, y'all. That house is empty. It's just them. Because when that money goes away, all those girls that are coming over, all those friends that are here partying, when that money's gone, the house is empty with you. And you're probably gonna lose your house.
Underwater pyramids found off the coast of Taiwan. So apparently underwater structures had been discovered in 1986 off the coast of Taiwan, but now researchers have dated these to 12,000 BC, meaning these structures were created long ago and also point to a lower sea level. Now, of course, that makes sense because there's several Indian cities that are partially underwater right now that are ancient. On top of that, it's making people question the dates of very ancient structures like the pyramids, which are supposedly 4,000 years old, but looking like they may be more like 8,000 or 9,000 years old. So here's some images of the underwater structures and pyramids found off the coast of Taiwan. So these are divers at the Yonaguni Monument. This is 60 miles east of Taiwan in the water. And of course, here's a better image of the structure. You can see this was clearly made by man, and you can see that this is now totally underwater. This is 60 miles east of Taiwan in the water, because you can see, there's a fucking diver there. And this is supposedly 12,000 years old. This is pointing to an ancient civilization and an advanced society long ago that built something like this. I mean, you can clearly tell this is man-made. Look at that shit. Of course, just for reference, this is a pyramid they found in China that's supposedly 16,000 years old, the oldest one. And of course, here's Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, which is about 10 to 12,000 years old. So we're seeing a lot of structures around the world that are being discovered that came about long before the dawn of what we classify civilization here on planet Earth. 5,000 or 6,000 years before, which calls into question how much history we're missing.
There will never be another Michael Jackson, but we have one. Blanket.
And Howard, do you know Brandon Howard?
Yeah.
He's coming out as Michael's son. Do you know that story?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it. I honestly believe it. He's a young guy, entertainer, looks like Mike, sounds like Mike. You would thought it was Mike.
Really?
No, literally. Me knowing Mike's mannerisms, when I see him, I couldn't believe who it was.
Has he had any hits?
Not yet.
Will he? Well, this will make him get some hits.
I'm definitely giving him some hits.
I bought a truck last year, a Chevy truck, which I've always had, and I was at a gas station, and all of a sudden on the dashboard it says, "Stop, we're downloading information from the internet." Or
While you were driving? No, I was stopped. It just specifically wanted you to stay stopped so it could, I don't know, download software. I sold the car immediately. I brought it back and sold it. They wanted all your data to provide it to insurance companies to wreck your life, I'm sure.
Is that true?
Insurance companies will be the downfall of cars and driving. I guarantee it. And the other thing is all the cameras that are out there, everybody's putting cameras on their car. I'm like, okay, you guys...
Cameras on their car?
I'm sure you've seen it. Like, people are buying little cameras to see what happens. If somebody does something stupid on the road, you can use that to protect yourself legally, right? That's why they sell it.
It's never occurred to me, but yes.
Okay, what happens when those are mandated in every car everywhere? What happens when you're completely mandated control? Car shuts off at exactly 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, no matter what.
I mean, there is cameras everywhere, y'all. I got a damn camera on my doorbell. I got a damn camera on my roof. I got a damn camera on the side. Why? Because when I moved in, they were there, right? But I paid for the Ring subscription because it's there. Even got one in my backyard, but I don't use it because whoever hooked it up connected it to my damn on and off switch. So I'd have to have that switch on all the time, which the porch light would always be on and the light out there anyways. But it's there's cameras everywhere. There's cameras everywhere. You walk down the street, all you hear is they're catching you walking by, right? There's cameras everywhere, y'all. And I'm pretty sure it probably will be and insurance companies are probably going to mandate eventually having a camera in your car, probably on you. I don't know if they can do that with privacy, but for sure on the outside, right? Or on you to see if you're texting or wouldn't that be a trip, y'all? If you're going to use our insurance, you have to have a camera on you. You'll get a discount. That's how they'll start it. You'll get a big discount on you and out. Eventually, they'll get rid of that discount because everyone has it. Everyone gets used to it. It becomes the new norm. And then everyone's on camera in the car, y'all.
Breaking news as scientists have just resurrected the dire wolf. This is a wolf that has been extinct for over 10,000 years, and they just brought it back to life. It's quite scary because this is the same wolf that you see in the Game of Thrones. I mean, in length, these things can get up to 7 feet. And next, this company is attempting to bring back the woolly
7
mammoth.
feet?
Now you might think, how the heck are they even doing all of this? Well, just take a look and hear it from them.
ABC News given exclusive access into Colossal's lab in Dallas, where scientists are using genes from gray wolves to create dire wolves.
We've taken a gray wolf genome, a gray wolf cell, which is already genetically 99.5% identical to dire wolves, and we've edited those cells at multiple places in its DNA sequence to contain the dire wolf version of the DNA. That animal looks like a dire wolf, it will behave like a dire wolf, and it is a dire wolf.
Now, 7 months old, dire wolves Romulus and Remus eating well and getting bigger every day. And David, the company tells us they're not stopping there. They plan to have woolly mammoths roaming the earth again by 2028. But critics argue that this de-extinction could harm fragile ecosystems.
Things is like, wait.
Now, when did Jurassic Park come out? Like 93, something like that? They tell us in the movies, y'all. They told us this back in 93, probably sooner than that to a movie I didn't even see, but that's how Jurassic Park started, right? DNA scientists creating, redoing genes, and that woolly mammoth's next, probably a saber tooth, right? People are like, man, let's get a freaking T-Rex and we'll just put them on an island if they're not already there. If they're showing us, they've been doing this, y'all.
What? And I was like, if you had one project, what is it? This mammoth project? And then he went down this whole path about how he'd bring back mammoths, reintroduce them in the Arctic, help the ecosystem, use those technologies for conservation, use those technologies for human healthcare.
There was a woman named Sarah who loved going to thrift stores. And one day when she happened to be at one of these thrift stores, she notices this beautiful vanity and mirror. And she absolutely had to have it. So she gets this vanity and she brings it back home and puts it in her bedroom and is so proud of it. Well, every night she starts sitting at the vanity, brushing her hair. One night, while she's brushing her hair, she looks into the mirror and she sees this woman staring back at her. She has gray hair, a wrinkled face, and she's just staring straight at her. And this woman then reaches her hand through the mirror and touches her hair. And then like that, she was gone from the mirror. And so Sarah decides not to tell her husband about this.
I mean, going out.
Her husband, however, he started noticing this change in behavior with Sarah. She would be at this vanity and looking in the mirror for hours at a time. One night he was in the kitchen getting something to eat when all of a sudden he feels like he's being watched. And he looks over and there's Sarah with her head kind of popped out around the corner in the hallway, just staring at him with this grin on her face. And he says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And real fast, she pops her head back into the hallway and just takes off running, and she's laughing the whole time. And several places around the house, she would just kind of pop her head out and stare at him while he was in the shower, while he would be getting ready for work. And then he started to notice she would talk to this mirror. And she'd wonder, who are you talking to? And Sarah would say, no one, I don't know what you're talking about. And then one night, he's laying in bed with his wife, Sarah, when all of a sudden, Sarah jumps on top of her husband and grabs his arms and pins him back and starts shaking him violently and then starts laughing hysterically. And when he looks at Sarah's face, he realizes that is no longer his wife. It is a woman with gray hair and a wrinkly face. And he manages to get who he thinks is this other woman that's not his wife off of him. And once again, when he looks over, it's Sarah. And she's back to normal. She doesn't remember any of this, or that any of this even happened. So her husband starts to think, wait a second. All of this started happening when she brought that vanity home. So he gets the vanity and he takes it back to this thrift store. And he tells them, there is something wrong with this vanity. It's affecting my wife. And they say, it's crazy that you say that because you're the third person that's bought this vanity and brought it back and said something was wrong with it. And as soon as he went back home, his wife was normal again.
Because of Israel. I think that
probably a year ago, people were afraid to even say that. And now it is what everybody is saying. Like even Piers Morgan is saying it on his show now.
And I knew that I'm not allowed to talk about Israel for some reason, and I didn't really know why.
But you can't face that reality.
When you really dig into Epstein, his entire network was Israel.
It's called fake news.
And he very clearly was a Jewish organization of Jewish people working on behalf of Israel and other groups. Jeffrey Epstein was the world's most prolific and evil sex trafficker that we know of so far, ever.
That is some coincidence. I gotta tell you, okay? Like, I gotta tell you, it's a weird thing. Like, it's not every day.
I feel like you guys keep trying to distract people with Iraq.
They have a monument, a physical monument to James Angleton in Israel, in Jerusalem. Angleton was a trusted confidant of Mossad leaders like Mir Amit, who once called him the biggest Zionist of the lot.
And that was a lie.
Even with animals, they put chips in animals, and this should be completely illegal. The whole thing's with the chips in the animals. But you can take a magnet and you can place it over the chip, and it'll actually destroy the chip that's in the animal. So like cats and dogs, when they chip them, so that you can find them for safety purposes and whatever it may be. Well, what people don't realize is that those chips are emitting a radio frequency the whole time, and then the animal, such as the dog or cat, begins to come down with in that area or a tumor. People should get that removed, or you, like I said, you might be able to use a very strong magnet to disable that. And that's another one. Those vets, that's why they're chipping all your animals. If they're not chipping you as a person, they're chipping your animals. I mean, so it's a form of control. And then they'll say you need a robot animal next, which will also come with a microchip, and sync up to the internet. So you got to think about, what's best for your pets and what's best for their long-term health. Now, I'm sure there's always a counter to things like that. If you look into like I think it's like the Hulda Clark Zapper or something. I'm sure there's stuff like that. Maybe something that could be the...
Now that I'm home and I am safe, I can talk about this. When I tell you I just had the weirdest experience of my entire damn life at Walmart, I'm not joking. I had to literally get the hell up out the store. I left my stuff there and I took off. I came home as quick as I could. I want to know what the hell is going on with these timelines and shit because something ain't right. I've experienced glitches before, but I've never experienced a glitch like this. I'm going to show you guys a picture of me when I was younger and what my kids looked like. This was like 15 years ago. Okay, I want you to look at this picture because this picture of me, that is my signature haircut. That is the haircut that I get. Every time I chop my hair off, that is the haircut I get. It is that haircut that is stacked in the back and it comes to the front. That's my haircut. My kids will tell you that is my haircut. And what makes this even crazier is I was just talking to Babe the other day telling him I was going to cut my hair off and I was going to get that haircut. Like, that exact haircut. So I'm at Walmart and I'm shopping and I'm minding my own business. I do shopping, window shopping to kind of like get my me time in, just kind of like time for myself, right? So I'm not really paying attention to what's going on around me. I'm in the clothing section and I'm looking at the clearance aisle. I just kind of feel a little bit funny, so I stop shopping and I look up and I look kind of to the left of me. My jaw drops, y'all. Tell me why I saw me and my kids from like 15 years ago standing literally 10 feet away from me. Like, what? I'm not, no, it wasn't nobody else that I was mistaken for, me and my kids. It was us from like 15 years ago. I had that same haircut that I just showed you, but they looked like this. Like, I was too stunned to do anything. All I could do was sit there and watch her. Watch me? Us? I don't know. But the even crazier part is there was a boy that was with us. He was a little bit older than my oldest daughter, and the craziest part about that is I had a miscarriage when I was 18. And I knew it was a boy. But I sat there for like 2 seconds and I watched them and they looked so happy. And then reality hit me and I realized like what the fuck is going on, and it scared me and I just took off. But what's crazy to me is there was 3 kids there. So I don't know what timeline that was from or what happened there, but I am telling you, this was the craziest experience I've ever had in my entire life. And no, I'm not mistaking that for anyone else. I know what I looked like when I was younger. I know what haircut I had. I just sat there and I watched for like 2 whole seconds. I watched her interact with these babies, and she was the happiest that I've ever seen myself. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, how is this possible? Like, I don't understand this. Can somebody please explain this to me? Because this is blowing my mind, and like, I'm scared right now. But I feel kind of at peace, if that makes sense. Like, I feel kind of like I got a little bit of closure, in a weird way. I am telling you that was me and my babies. Like, I'm telling you that was us. That was just a beautiful moment that I watched. And if you have any explanations or can kind of tell me what the hell just happened to me, please let me know below, because I can't make sense of it and I'm freaking out.
The US car market is so cooked. One of the biggest streamers in the world, Speed, is in China right now, and somehow he got access to all the crazy Chinese EVs that we've been talking about all year. And now it kind of makes more sense why we're not allowed to have them in America. We're talking flying cars, bunny hopping cars, and even a truck that can drive on water like a boat. Speed was able to test drive some of BYD's craziest cars. First off is their electric supercar, the Yangwang U9. This thing has over 1,000 horsepower, 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds, and has a top speed of 250 miles per hour. But Speed was definitely way more impressed with the car's ability to leap off the ground. He found a button that literally made the car hurtle into the air multiple inches from a standstill. The car's suspension also gives it the ability to dance with the music you're playing, and you can even make it rock with the motion of your phone. After that, he was already taking out his wallet trying to buy one of these things, but it got even crazier when he drove the Yangwang U8 SUV. This truck can literally double as a boat.
Shooting with 50 cows. Those go through tanks. When you hit a human being with that bullet, his body disintegrates.
Oh, it turns
literally turns to jello.
If you miss a person and the bullet passes by within like a couple of feet, it'll rip a limb off.
Even if you miss it.
Even if you miss, that bullet's moving so fast and it's big and powerful. You can be like within 2 feet of hitting someone and it'll still like take their arm off.
Where'd you shoot him?
Everywhere. I guess upper body, like he evaporated. The only like clear shot I remember with the 50. Well, no, my machine gunner behind me, he hit a guy with the 50. He was running on a rooftop. He had an RPG. And he hit him, and his upper body like went away, and just his legs like took 2 more steps on the rooftop, but his upper body was gone.
Isn't it funny that when you meet somebody, the first thing that they ask you is, "What do you do for work?" And they don't really care about your name. They don't care about nothing. First thing they're gonna ask you is, "What do you do for work?" And the reason why they're doing that is they're trying to see how much they should respect you, or on what level they should place you at, as far as how much respect you deserve from them. That's really all they're doing. It's like a mental hierarchy system. If you say a job that they deem as something that's not respectable, then you know what they're gonna do? They're not gonna respect you. It is a shame for most people that what sums up your life is what you do for a living. What sums up who you are, what your identity is, goes hand in hand with what you do for a living. And so if somebody's coming up and asking you that question before they get to know anything else about you, they don't really care to know anything about you. They're just trying to see where to place you in their mind. I think it's weird. Don't ask me what I do, because I don't care what you do. Why do you care what I do? If you're a Christian, just tell people you're an evangelist. That's what you do for work. That's it. And you ain't got to say no more. Say, I'm an evangelist. I spread the word of God.
Nike, Adidas, M&S, this is your waste. You should be the one cleaning up here. My name is Freehat.
My name is Fosinanim.
My name is Richard Adumbila.
My name is Rahel.
My name is Godson Mauli Dogan.
My name is Bright Anoche. I'm into environmental studies, so if I'm not here right now, I'll be in my study room studying.
I'm a photographer, so maybe I'll be on the street shooting.
I should have been in the gym.
I'll be home watching movies.
I'm an acrobatic artist. If I'm not here, I'll be at rehearsing.
Those fucking brands,
they have to reduce their production.
What they are doing is affecting all of us.
They have to make us know the amount they are producing.
They are making our beaches unhealthy for us.
When you come to our beaches, you cannot even feel free to do anything that can make you feel free.
It's going to have negative impact on all of us. It should be a warning. The fast fashion needs to stop.
On up.
Ну, знаете,
it's crazy. We just throw our trash on your beaches. There you go. I mean, you get new clothes. Probably start a little online store, right? Make some money, a killing, get all those clothes, sell them for 50 cents. You know how much money you'll make? But that's a damn shame that we just throw our trash on the other people that are third world countries and have at it.
Хочу что сказать. Соединенные Штаты опоздали лет на 15. Они не смогут остановить развитие Китая. Это невозможно сделать, так же, как вот невозможно сказать Солнцу, не вставай. Оно все равно поднимется. Но есть объективные процессы экономического развития. Они связаны с миллионом факторов. И вот эта попытка сдержать развитие Китая, она негативно отражается и на экономике самих Соединенных Штатов. Они делают производство ряда своих товаров низкоконкурентоспособными. А если дальше пойдут по этому пути, сделают вообще неконкурентоспособными в отдельной отрасли экономики. Так сложилась кооперация на протяжении предыдущих десятилетий между экономикой Китая и Соединенными Штатами. Она взаимосвязана. Все это понимают. Но вот те действия, которые мы наблюдаем сегодня со стороны Штатов, мне кажется, что они имеют контрпродуктивный характер.
I'm scared of this tariff stuff because it's radical change. I'm scared of radical change.
Well, let me tell you what I think, and I don't know anything.
Good. We don't. Both of us don't know.
Good.
This is a perfect time to speculate
Okay.
about the economy.
This is all his negotiating. It's gonna come down. It's not gonna stay like this. The bad thing will be is if all the other countries go, "Fuck you, America. We're not gonna do any. We're not gonna."
It's always a
negotiate."
possibility.
Then that's a problem, I think.
It's always a possibility. Also, you're not nearly as charming if people can't speak your language. Like Trump is used to
Right.
being able to charm people.
Yeah.
He's very charming. But if you can't speak his language,
Might look. Yeah, it might be.
you're
Really
like,
bad.
fuck this orange asshole.
It's like
you know what I mean?
What's going on? You guys know more than I know. All I know is he paused tariffs. Day before, all these countries are praying, telling me, please stop doing this. We need your help. And then the next day he stops them. What's going on? I know I made some money in the stock market yesterday. Some good money, right? But still, like, did he just put a Band-Aid on a huge wound? 90 days, we're back in the same position, or what? You guys know. I know you guys know. Let me know down below. What's the purpose of these pauses? What's going on, y'all? I'm so busy, I don't really have time to sit there and watch Mr. Trump. What his reasoning is, I can only imagine, though. I can only imagine what he said, but let me know down below. What's the reason for this pause?
Did he fuck Carl Winslow? We was at the party, and you know we just chilling and shit like that. And me,
messed up my childhood when he told me that.
Everybody know me, right? Right. I'm a goofy nigga. I'm funny and stuff like that. So I hear a nigga just wearing out some shit. I'm like, huh? Like hearing that, I'm like, on 6-0, who's wearing this bitch out? Right. Nigga, I kick in the door. Poof. Kick in the door. Nigga, I seen Carl Winslow put his
Yeah, that's
head
the
up
father.
on
Ain't that the
6-0,
father from Family Matters?
Yeah.
No way.
The dad. The dad.
Oh, the dad.
The dad.
The dad.
I swear to God, dad homie, neighborhood crib. So when I seen that, and then so who was piping Carl? Diddy? Yeah, Diddy was. So when I seen that, cuz right, Diddy came back and he was telling me, he was like, it's nothing more enjoyable than having a man do something for some money. I'm like, cuz that shit crazy.
Oh, nah,
Diddy fuck.
80,000 electricians are needed every year for the next 5 years.
Jeez.
To make up the shortage that they have. We need 5,500,000 plumbers by the year 2030.
Good Lord.
What an opportunity. Now, we've been talking this trade talk. We've been telling niggas. But do you understand? Okay, you want to get money, right? Do you understand that with a shortage like this, that you're going to be able to set your price because there will be no competition? There is no better time to go get a trade than now.
Right now.
They're gonna give you the trade. They're gonna get, because they need it. It's in such demand. Because imagine this, and this is the situation that was proposed by this man, is that imagine having to wait 4 weeks for a plumber because there is none available. There's not enough plumbers. So you have a plumbing issue and can't nobody get to you. Because nobody's doing it. That's gonna make shit smell like gold to me.
Yeah.
It's time to go get it. You ain't gonna, because this is the thing. That's a lot of motherfucking people.
Yeah.
By 2030, 500,000 people are needed. And nobody doing it. This is a golden opportunity for young black men. I promise you. Young black men that are trying to pivot and find a new direction in their life because the warehouse ain't working out no more. It's time, bro. It's time. You're gonna have to stop spending money. Don't spend no fucking money. You don't need no new shoes. You don't need no new clothes. You need to save all your money and go take that leap. Go back and live with your folks and tell your folks what's going on. Like, hey, I'm finna be an electrician. If we need 80,000 a year for the next 5 years just to make up with the people that's moving out, first of all, this is how you get a great union job. But this is also how you get a skill that you can transfer into your own independent contracting business. Right. And you're going to get money. You are going to get money, nigga.
And so they did this.
If I could go back to young 18-year-old me fresh out of high school, I would have went into that job market. I would have went into something in the, electrician, mechanic. That's all I watch now, y'all. I love watching electricians' tool bags, mechanics' tool sets, right? Take a tour through their cart. I love it. If I could go back, that's what I would have got into, and you got so much knowledge, by now I would have had a successful business on my own, like thinking how I think now, like I would have had a big business on that and everything, y'all. Like that's something I would have got into. Shout out to all the people in the trades out there.
Here's what they did. They gave people psilocybin for a month, magic mushrooms, and cognitive therapy. I said, well, you ought to get some change out of that. He goes, yeah, it was the greatest change they've ever seen in the history of psychiatry. 6 weeks after treatment, 54% of the people had no symptoms of depression.
Dude, I take 4 stems and a Diet Coke.
Take a picture inside the mirror. You can stand in the room and count 5 people in the room, and you take a picture in the mirror. If there's 6 people, what the heck, right? Sorrel Weedhouse doesn't even have this picture that I'm going to show you. There's a woman on the other side of the room who starts losing her mind. She starts screaming, oh my God, you got to see this picture. You got to see this picture. You got to see this picture. And she runs over, she shows it to me. You can see me in the mirror. Looming above me, looking over my shoulder, is this gray woman, and she wasn't there. Have you ever been into a cemetery at night? So when you shine a flashlight on a statue in a cemetery, they're like gray. Those are the full body apparitions we would see, and that's what showed up in this photo.
I can prove to you guys that Facebook listens to everything you say. Look at the phone. Emily, move the phone over. See, this is random stuff. I want to buy a laundromat. Laundromat, laundromat, laundromat.
Don't get me copyrighted.
Look to your left, right? Oh shit, he's coming. Don't freak out. God.
The Denver airport.
Ooh, yes, let's go.
They used to have these murals put up, but they have since taken it down because it got just way too much. Like, what the heck am I looking at? I'm just going to describe some of the things that were in these murals.
Oh, no.
Huge. This is terrible.
Okay.
This was in the airport.
Kids would have seen this.
Yes. Everyone would have seen this.
Got it. Okay.
Children in coffins.
Oh my gosh.
A forest and a city on fire. A child holding a Mayan tablet depicting the end of the world.
Nice.
What?
Wearing a gas mask.
What?
Okay.
Holding a sword that was stabbing a dove.
Not tasteful.
There's a mural of the children all over the world who had killed the Nazi and they're bringing their weapons wrapped in their country's flag to a little German boy.
Why?
Who was at the center of it with a hammer.
What?
Can we just
like a
paint
hammer, like a communism?
Yeah.
When you tell these stories,
This is so terrible. But the one with the it was showing like people that were like starving, and there was a woman holding her deceased baby.
Oh my gosh, this is
That's what I'm saying. Like, why is this in the airport?
you're in Colorado. Draw some mountains, buddy.
And I'd say the final thing that we're going to have to watch out for, and we saw this with social media after the fact, is the relationships kids are going to build with these systems. We are now giving kids access to an infinite, never-ending opportunity to engage with an imaginary friend, something that is always on, can answer all of their questions. That is a recipe for a new type of addiction. And we have to really be looking out for this. We kind of missed the boat on smartphones, and now we're all trying to get them back out of the classrooms. We can see this line of sight directly with AI systems and chatbots. And this isn't, of course, all on educators. This has to come to, tech companies, how we design these systems, age gating them. But something to look out for is this kind of new addiction that might form between kids and chatbots. And that is not going to end up well. And do our best to bring parents on board with that. So even if that's at parent-teacher interviews, just casually saying, look out for the amount of time your kid spends chatting with a chatbot. I noticed they were a little bit more disengaged in class. That could be where. So this is another area that we have to apply foresight to, but we can see that line of sight happening quite clearly if we don't intervene.
We were never supposed to see the image of our face.
What do you mean?
Phones, like, I think it says somewhere, it's like, we're only supposed to see our face, like our true image of our face in like a pond of still water, right? But
yeah,
like
that makes sense.
Yeah, but phones came around and they showed us our face, right? And we were never supposed to see it because like, when you take a picture of yourself with all of these like technology and stuff, like a 50 millimeter, you know what I mean? It's zooming in all your acne and stuff.
Yeah.
Like now you overthink, but it's like, I don't think God made us where you're supposed to see our actual face.
Yo, cause yeah, I always think about that too. Like
Yeah.
we're not supposed to have cut hair.
That's what I'm saying.
We're not
yeah.
supposed to have.
We're not
like,
supposed to have no fades. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
groomed bodies and stuff like that.
But we only do that because we seen our face and we're like, I want to be more pretty. I want to be more handsome.
But do you think the way life ended up becoming is how it's supposed to go anyway, though? So being natural isn't necessarily natural. What natural is the evolution of what you are.
I don't think so. I don't think that's natural. I think what we're supposed to be is like, you know how the Neanderthals, like, they didn't have no mirrors. I mean, like they were happier.
You know what it is? It's almost as if every single year there's a new apple that you bite of.
Isn't it interesting that Sean Dowdell confirmed in March of last year to me in private that he in fact does have validating evidence for most conspiracy theories brought to the media by the public when Chester passed, but that he kept all of it to himself because it was none of their business.
So the people who run this world know that most people couldn't care less about truth. America's not the land of the free and the home of the brave. We're not free or brave. Need to wake up and find out. We're just here. The people who founded this country were men that we can't even converse with. They used a whole different terms and different logic. They were men of renown, brilliant, intelligent men who were students of history. Of course they made enemies in England, but they had the respect of the British kings and the respect of the British royalty. May not have loved them, but they respected them because they were brilliant, intelligent men. Unfortunately, our country today has very few, if any, of those qualities left. As political and economic freedom diminishes, sexual freedom tends compensatingly to increase. And the dictator, unless he needs cannon fodder or families with which to colonize the empty and conquered territories, will do well to encourage that freedom in conjunction with the freedom to daydream under the influence of narcotics, the movies, the radio, and it will now help to reconcile his subjects to the servitude which is now their fate.
The truth is hidden in plain sight, and this is how they hide everything. If you are looking for the knowledge that has been hidden from us, if you want to know the meaning behind these symbols, if you want to know who controls the world, this ebook will literally unveil that to you, and ye shall know the truth, and truth shall set you free.
I don't know if you know this, but I wouldn't have done the film if they didn't let me come out walking as a cripple and then getting my cane stuck into a cobblestone and then doing a forward somersault and then bouncing up, and they all applauded. And the director said, well, what do you want to do that for? And I said, because from that point on, no one will know whether I'm telling the truth or lying. And he said, you mean if I say no, you won't do the film? And I said, that's right, I won't. And I meant it too.
There's never been a tough interview asking Elon Musk about how you're going to shrink the very same government that you take money from, that all of your businesses rely upon, that you have contracts with. You know, and that's a very important question to ask him. You don't need to, it doesn't need to be hostile, but what do you believe in? It's not family, right? So if we're talking about making America great again, we're talking about when we are on the basis of when we were based on our families and people were not being replaced by AI robots and not aspirationally wanting everyone to drive a Tesla or an electric car.
You're a hater if you think Candace Owens is controlled. I always say this to you guys. They will expose themselves when they open their mouths. And the things that Candace Owens has gone after, attacked the state that is not real, openly, lost her job, and she did it right. She got her credibility up, and she was like, "No, I got my influence now. I went on good. I can now make my own shit."
She pivoted.
She became independent because she already had the. She didn't get stopped. She played the game until she got to the point where it's like, "All right, fuck you. I'm gonna expose everything."
Look at this. Look at this. Some bullshit.
That's crazy, y'all.
Don't move. Nobody can't even move nowhere. Nobody can't even move. Can't lose your money. Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous. Can't even move. Oh my goodness. This never happened. I never experienced nothing like this. This is crazy. Look at this. This is crazy. Nobody can move nowhere. Everybody got to stay in the same spot, right? Can't even move. It's messed up. They ain't been trying to fix it. The TV's off, everything. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Wow.
Sea lions are attacking and unaliving humans off the coast of Cali because they are poisoned, y'all. Off some ocean sea lion zombie type shit. They not literally sea lion zombies. I'm just saying they are aggressive or becoming aggressive because they are poisoned in the ocean. They are saying a toxin from the algae blooms are causing the sea lions to become more aggressive, in which they are attacking humans. It's called domoic acid. So it said when the sea lions eat fish that has them toxins, it gets in the bloodstream and goes straight to the sea lion brain, which causes them to go crazy, y'all. He said a 15-year-old girl was the latest victim of a sea lion, because that junk just straight attacked her. She was doing a swim test in the ocean when that junk attacked her. And they said even surfers are getting attacked more often now. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I never heard of this before. This is new to me. Sea lion zombies? Just imagine if them toxins get on a fucking shark or some shit. They already aggressive. They gonna be 10 times aggressive. What else do 2025 got in store? Y'all let me know down below in the comments. This shit crazy, fool.
It's time to talk about Ben Affleck and his children, man. Seriously. But first, dude, we gotta discuss this right here, man. What's going on in Hollywood? What's her name? Selena, the Wednesday Addams girl. Yeah, look at her, man. This was not what she looked like whatsoever, and I want to know how she looks like this now. I mean, really and truly, man, a lot of people are saying it's not even the same person. Like, I'm not saying it is, you know what I'm saying, fact checkers, but I'm just saying there is always that possibility that it's not the same person. And then all this ties back in, dude, to this green milk right here. You ever seen this kind of milk before? Oh, no, really and truly. Look at this right here. Are you seeing this right here, dude? Look, blue 1. What? Not to mention the sugars, man. My question is, what's up with all this sugar that's in milk? Why are y'all doing that? I highly doubt Miss Jenna Ortega is eating that. Yeah, I knew her name the whole time, which I'm sure all y'all have already commented by now saying, oh, that was not Selena Gomez or something like that. Anyways, really and truly is wild, man, you know?
Y'all don't find this oddly convenient and suspicious that a whole shipping container with preserved chicken, that chicken is still fresh when it hits that sand, it just washes up in Jamaica? There's no traces of the ship where this container mysteriously fell from. There hasn't been any claim from any business reporting missing inventory. If I'm handling inventory for my business and thousands of chicken packages randomly disappear, you don't think I'm gonna report it? You don't think that shipping container that weighs 1,000 pounds would be further out in the beach? How did it make its way all the way to the shore, just perfectly placed there? And from me doing some research, I found out that chicken spoils quickly. It doesn't take a long time for chicken to go bad. These chickens don't look rotten to me. They look perfectly preserved. You see when something is too good to be true and they're like setting a stage and everything looks perfect? This is exactly what's going on right here. We cannot be that gullible as a society. There's way too many red flags and there's way too many things that are not adding up with this. I'm still waiting on that business to report their missing inventory, because that's way too much chicken for you to not say nothing and for you to not report it. My people in Jamaica, don't eat this. Don't eat this chicken.
I don't know what their money situation's like, but if they're a little under poverty and that, right, bro, you ain't gonna eat that. You're in that shoe. Yeah, you won't eat it. You're good. You can afford to whatever, but some people can't. Imagine that rolled up on a third world country and you were broke and poor and hungry and this crate of food rolled up. You ain't gonna eat it. Come on, man. Be real. Looks a little too real for me. They freaked me out.
Go to the bank, get you a Roth IRA. Put $3 grand a year in there, right? Don't touch it until it matures. And it matures every day, all right? I guarantee you $3.7 million.
You guarantee
3.7.
What's your name?
Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson. Now listen, when I get that 3.7 million, I'm gonna be looking for you.
I'll tell you something else. Best advice I can give you, start looking at investment. I'm gonna show you one quick investment you would never imagine. All you gotta do is go to Morgan Stanley.
I got me Morgan Stanley account.
Okay, go to Morgan Stanley and ask them for mutual fund in energy.
Right.
Take 20 grand. You get $3 grand every 90 days.
For forever.
Forever.
One time payment.
One time investment.
So me, I'm 23. I plan on living to 107. So $3 grand for 107 years for 90 days.
Yep. Every 90 days.
I don't know if that's true. You go watch YouTube. There's a lot of debunkers out there, but I don't know. There's a difference between people that debunk and people that actually do. You know what I mean? So the one thing that separates millionaires when they retire compared to non-millionaires when they retire is doing it. That's the difference. But anyways, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. We're going to go over my setup a little bit. I got a lot of emails asking me, a lot of people want to get started on, trying to do some reactions and whatnot. And I did say, if you guys have some questions, feel free to email me. I'll help you out, right? I ain't selfish. There's plenty of people out there that watch YouTube videos. I don't need to be the only one. I don't need everybody, right? I like to share the wealth, right? So one thing I could say, lighting, y'all. I got 2 studio lights right here. I did switch this one over here. I feel like it looks a little better. $30 each on Amazon. I do want to upgrade to some better ones. My webcam, I started off with a Logitech 1080p, I think they're called. That was fine, y'all. It did the job. But started getting some momentum, started learning a little bit, upgraded to an Elgato face cam. My laptop. That's one thing I would say to invest in. I spent up on this laptop. I don't remember how much. I think it was like $1,500, $2,000, but my first laptop was probably like $300. Now it did the job, but it would like skip, because this uses a lot of power. I'm using Streamlabs OBS to record my video. That's where I have my scenes, where I go from this to this, back to this, right? That's on Streamlabs. I saw a lot of people that do editing on Streamlabs. I don't. I use CapCut. I believe it's part of TikTok. I didn't know that until they banned TikTok for that 24 hours. My CapCut got banned, right? So if they ban TikTok, CapCut's probably going to be gone too. But CapCut is free. I pay the $20, for the little extra thing. So you see the matrix come through and stuff like that. I didn't at first though. You don't have to. It's got plenty of stuff you can use without having to pay for it. It's free. Other than that, I would use DaVinci. That's also free. Streamlabs, DaVinci, Elgato Facecam, lighting, the 2 colored lights back here, those are for outdoor. Those are outdoor lights, right? So I bought them, put them up here. They work great. I love them. You control it all by your phone, turn them on and off, by the push of a button over here, just like this. Off, on, change the colors. You can change them how you want. and you know, do what you want with them. So that I love those. Great lights. What else, y'all? I got a little a monitor, but before I had this monitor, I just got this probably like 2 weeks ago. I spent up, you know, $80 on a nicer monitor, a little more HD, so when I'm editing it's a little better. It just looks better while I'm doing it. But for the longest time I had a little like 20-inch TV buy at Walmart for what, $40. That's what I had right here for the longest time. Microphone, y'all. Microphone. My first microphone was this microphone right here. My sister got me that for my birthday. I used to do my old school videos, my old school podcasts. It did the job, y'all. Then I upgraded to this HyperX Quadcast. It broke on me, right? It broke on me. I went on down the YouTube rabbit hole on microphones. Ended up with this Shure MV7 Plus, y'all. I love it. I'll always have a Shure. Probably I love the microphones, but this microphone was like $300, y'all. This microphone is like probably like $130, $140 on at Walmart. You can buy that at Walmart. Good microphone, y'all. Lights up red. I don't know if you guys remember that. But yeah, that's my setup, y'all. Nothing crazy, right? Nothing crazy. The most expensive thing is my laptop, but you know, the webcam, I would invest in a webcam. And then the microphone, you don't need a fancy microphone, y'all. You can get a $50 microphone on Amazon. And like I said, people ask me like, what do you do how'd you learn that? How I learned how to do the settings for my webcam, for the microphone I used to have. You have to have settings on OBS. YouTube videos, y'all. People give you knowledge on YouTube. Lighting, like I figured out to put my lighting over here. I watched a video yesterday because I was going to buy some new lights, but I might not buy new lights now because this looks pretty good, y'all. I got the light right there. So, you know, just little upgrades. When you start doing these videos, I'm telling you, don't think you're going to get 20,000 views overnight. You're going to get 20 views if you're lucky, your first 30 videos, right? You're not going to get a lot of views, y'all. It takes time. This took me like a year and a half of doing these videos, getting 300, 400 views. Eventually one time I'd get 1,000, but one day, boom, you're going to get 15,000 views. And then from there, it just starts snowballing, y'all. So, I mean, don't think you're going to start off and get 100,000 views. I don't get 100,000 views. I'm lucky if I break 30, right? But you just got to start somewhere. Don't expect to get it all in one day. It takes a lot of time. YouTube seems to test you before it rewards you. They want you to be consistent. They want you to show the effort, and then you just start getting rewarded for that, y'all. So I hope I answered some questions. Not a crazy setup, y'all. Not too. It's a little expensive, but at first, when I first started, it wasn't expensive. I got the cheapest of everything, and as time went on, I'd save up for a laptop, saved up for a better webcam, got better lighting. That's one thing that I think is very important, y'all. Lighting. And then if you don't want to get your background done, remember I had a green screen, y'all. That green screen connected to my chair right here on the back of the chair, velcroed on the back of the chair, and it was a big green screen, and you can make your background however you want. I had that for the longest time, and you guys loved it, y'all. You guys loved the green screen background, so you don't have to have this nice setup back here. This just came with time. I got tired of the green screen. I wanted to put my own flavor into it, so that's where I got the background, y'all. So anyway, I hope that answered some questions. I wanted to make a video on this, but I was like, people ain't gonna watch it if I put it on. I was gonna make a TikTok, but I was like, put it at the end of the video. If you guys, the real ones that are watching this, you guys saw it, y'all. There you go. If you guys have any more questions, email me down below. You guys got any questions about anything? If you're having a hard time in life with mental health, you know, you're just having a hard time and just, you know, need someone to reach out to or whatever, my email's down below, y'all. I don't really respond good on the comments because I get a lot of comments. I have people email me on TikTok or write me on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok like that. I'm on TikTok for one thing, to get content. That's it. I don't post my day or nothing on there. I don't have an Instagram. Email's the best way to reach me, y'all. My email, the link's down below. But anyways, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I gotta go do some painting. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.